Is there anything more exhilarating than being transported to a whole new world? We think not. That's why we're diving headfirst into the latest and greatest Isekai anime for 2024 and 2025. New lives, new possibilities, and a whole lot of weird shenanigans. Let's jump right in. Number 10, Headhunted to Another World, from Salaryman to Big 4.
この案件俺が解決します
Denosuke, a man so ordinary he's practically a ghost in the office, gets the shock of his life when he's summoned to a world of swords and sorcery. Turns out, the Demon King, a surprisingly well-dressed fellow with a penchant for paperwork, needs a new accountant, or rather, a heavenly king. Armed with nothing but a stapler and an uncanny ability to decipher incomprehensible spreadsheets, Denosuke is thrust into a world of dragons, magic, and suspiciously low morale among the demon army. He's in this chaotic realm with a mix of bewilderment and surprising competence, turning budget cuts into battle strategies and using PowerPoint presentations to inspire troops. Denosuke is still that same humble number nerd, just with a slightly more impressive wardrobe. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want to replace their morning commute with a daily dragon battle? Number 9, Loner Life in Another World.
俺は異世界攻略してやるんだ
So, it's pretty much as it sounds. You're Haruka, the quintessential definition of average Joe, finding yourself in a new world with magic and monsters. While your classmates get bestowed with flashy abilities like fire magic and sword mastery, your luck takes a decidedly different turn. Equipped with the mind-blowing talents of general health and the coveted villager A equipment, you're essentially the human equivalent of a well-rested, slightly better-dressed peasant.
俺は今異世界を一人ぼっちで攻略している
Rather than embracing the call to adventure, you have to make a bold, if not entirely surprising decision, becoming a hermit. Just think about it, a cozy cottage, a flourishing vegetable patch, and an oddly endearing friendship with a talking slime. It's a life filled with the soothing sounds of nature and the occasional existential crisis about the meaning of life in a world where everyone else is busy slaying dragons. But Haruka isn't a twerp. Even his worst skills are cheat level. He just doesn't know about it. Number 8, No Longer Allowed in Another World.
僕は生まれながらに作家だよ
Meet Osamu, a man who's about as enthusiastic about life as a snail on a frozen pond. When he finds himself inexplicably summoned to a world teeming with magic and adventure, his response is about as exciting as watching paint dry. While literally anyone else is busy reveling in their newfound superpowers and quest for world domination, Osamu just wants a quiet corner to contemplate the futility of existence. Armed with the extraordinary talent of being exceptionally average and a wardrobe that screams funeral attendee, Osamu is the epitome of a reluctant hero. Despite his best efforts to blend into the scenery, or rather, the afterlife, fate has other plans. He's dragged into one misadventure after another, forced to fight monsters, lead armies, and even flirt with princesses. Through it all, Osamu maintains a perpetual state of existential dread. His witty banter consists mostly of sarcastic one-liners and philosophical musings on the nature of suffering. Yet, somehow, he manages to win hearts and save the day, all while looking like he'd rather be vacuuming. Number 7, Suicide Squad Isekai. Harley Quinn, Deadshot, King Shark, and the rest of the colorful criminals you know and love are unceremoniously dumped into a world of swords, sorcery, and suspiciously large rodents. Amanda Waller, the mastermind behind this chaotic experiment, has a grand plan: conquer this new world with the help of her motley crew of misfits. However, this motley crew's approach to heroism is as unconventional as expected, resulting in comical situations and absurd mishaps. In the middle of all this messing around, the squad inadvertently becomes the realm's unexpected saviors, all while trying to keep their heads and necks intact. Number 6, I'll become a villainess who goes down in history.
ここは間違いなくあのゲームの世界。つまり私は悪役令嬢に転生したんだわ。
What if a tiny, precocious girl with jet black hair and eyes that could freeze a dragon plotting world domination while sipping tea got the power to do so? Alicia, or rather our Alicia, is not your average 7-year-old. She's a reincarnated fangirl with a villainous ambition. Armed with the knowledge of a future she desperately wants to rewrite, she's ready to turn the world of this otome game upside down.
さあ、悪女を駆け上がっていくわよ。
But as it turns out, being a villainess isn't all about dramatic entrances and evil cackles. There's also the small matter of dealing with an overly affectionate prince, a surprisingly competent maid, and the constant threat of accidental world destruction. Alicia soon discovers that being the baddest of the bad is harder than it looks, especially when your plans involve more tea parties than tyranny. Number 5. Failure Frame. I became the strongest and annihilated everything with low-level spells.
さあ始めようか生存競争
There are some moments when you're at the top of the game, but there are also moments when you just want to dig up a hole and fade away into nothingness. Not for Mimori Toka. This poster boy for underwhelming gets the surprise of a lifetime when he's summoned to a fantasy world. While his classmates are busy flexing their A+ magic and sword skills, Mimori's only talent seems to be the ability to make toast without burning it. A total dud in a world of heroes, right? Wrong. Turns out Mimori's weak magic is actually a stealth superpower. His pitty little spells, like slow and poison, are secretly OP when maxed out. He could be turning a dragon into a sleepy green-colored extra slow dragon. It's like turning a Godzilla into a grumpy garden snail.
パラライズそう最高
After a less than glamorous dungeon dive meant to dispose of him, Mimori emerges not as a defeated nobody, but as a walking, talking, spell-slinging apocalypse. With his arsenal of upgraded low-level magic, he's basically a one-man wrecking crew. So, while his classmates are busy saving the world one heroic deed at a time, Mimori is quietly, very efficiently ending threats before they even start. Who needs fireballs when you can turn your enemies into statues? That goddess that threw him in that dungeon has her days numbered. Number 4. A journey through another world, raising kids while adventuring. You know something went terribly wrong when the god of your world is apologizing profusely to you. What happened? You, as Takumi Kayano, got accidentally offed by a particularly clumsy deity. To make up for their cosmic blunder, the god offers Takumi a do-over in a fantasy world, but instead of dropping him into a bustling metropolis or a serene countryside, our hapless hero lands smack dab in the middle of a monster-infested forest.
Wind arrow!
Just when he's contemplating his new, bug-infested life, he stumbles upon a pair of adorable and inexplicably powerful children. Turns out they're not just any kids, they're mini powerhouses with the potential to level entire cities. Faced with the daunting task of raising 2 pint-sized, world-ending weapons, Takumi decides to embrace his newfound role as a reluctant guardian. Number 3. The strongest magician in the Demon Lord's army was a human.
まあ予想していたことだ
Ike, the name echoes through the demon realm like a thunderclap. A fearsome, horn-headed, claw-wielding demon. He's the stuff of nightmares for humanity. Or so they think. Little do they know, Ike is actually a regular dude named, let's say, Kevin, who got really lost on a camping trip and ended up in a portal to Demonland. Now, Kevin or Ike is in a pickle. He can't exactly explain to his new demonic buddies that he's actually from a world where magic is a poorly written fantasy trope and the biggest threat is office paperwork. So, he does what any sensible person would do. He fakes it till he makes it. With a knack for strategic thinking and a suspiciously deep knowledge of gunpowder formulas, Ike quickly rises through the demon ranks. Life as a top-tier demon is surprisingly comfortable. There's the whole unlimited power thing, of course, but also the perks like not having to do your own laundry and having a personal army of loyal, if slightly dim-witted underlings. But I can't shake the feeling that he's living a lie. Number 2, the New Gates.
これで終わりだ
The undisputed king of virtual SmackDown is a dude named Shin. After single-handedly turning a deadly online game into a glorified picnic, he expected a relaxing vacation, maybe a massage, or at the very least a lifetime supply of energy drinks. Instead, he gets a one-way ticket to 500 years in the future of the same game world. Now, our hero finds himself in a world that's basically his old stomping ground on steroids. Goblins are sporting jetpacks, slimes have mastered the art of financial planning, and the local wildlife is having a serious identity crisis. But fear not, for Shin is not your average old-timer. Armed with knowledge of the game's mechanics and levels that would make a seasoned player weep with envy, he's essentially a walking, talking cheat code. Number 1. Magic Maker. How to create magic in another world. Now, Theon's fantasy is a bit different from the other entries. No wands, no spells, just a whole lot of disappointment for our wannabe wizard. But Theon's not one to let a little thing like non-existent magic dampen his spirits. Armed with nothing but a stubborn streak and a questionable amount of free time, he dives headfirst into the world of theoretical magic. Picture this, a man in a world of swords and sorcery, scribbling equations on parchment and conducting experiments that would make a mad scientist blush. It's a long, arduous journey filled with failed experiments, questionable life choices, and the occasional explosion.
転生した異世界で
But through it all, Theon's determination shines brighter than a supernova. Eventually, his mad scientist antics lead through a breakthrough. Not only does he create magic, but he also ends up being the only person who can use it. Talk about job security.